Hi everyone, welcome to Lavanya chemistry classes. Today topic is galvanic cell or voltaic cell or electrochemical cell. In galvanic cell, we are discuss about what is galvanic cell, what is galvanic cell, and what is the principle of galvanic cell, and examples and working of galvanic cell. These questions are discussed. Now, first one is what is galvanic cell? A galvanic cell is an electrochemical cell that converts chemical energy of spontaneous redox reactions into electrical energy. So, this is called as galvanic cell or voltaic cell. What is galvanic cell? Galvanic cell is an electrochemical cell. This electrochemical cell converts chemical energy into electrical energy by the spontaneous redox reactions. Redox reactions means both the oxidation and so this is known as galvanic cell or voltaic cell or electrochemical. Galvanic cell voltaic cell is an electrochemical cell that makes use of chemical reactions to generate to generate electrical energy. Let us understand how a voltaic cell or galvanic cell is created. In oxidation reduction reactions, electrons are moved from one species to another species. Energy is released if the reaction occurs spontaneously. Therefore, the released energy is used to do useful. To tackle this energy, it is required to split the reaction into two separate half reactions via both the oxidation and reduction with the help of two different containers and a wire. That means, and a wire means two separate containers and salt bridge. The reactions are put into them to drive the electrons from one end to the another end to create the voltaic cell. Now, what is the principle of galvanic? In the principle of galvanic cell, the electric work done by a galvanic cell is mainly due to the Gibbs energy of spontaneous redox reactions in the voltaic cell. It generally consists of two half cells and a salt bridge. Each half cell further consists of a metallic electrodes dipped into an electrode. These two half cells are connected to a voltmeter and switch externally with the help of metallic wires. In some cases, when both the electrodes are dipped in the same electrolyte, a salt bridge is not here. See here, example, look at the diagrams in the two separate containers and porous diaphragm, and each solutions are connected to a salt. The parts of galvanic cell. At anode, oxidation occurs, this electrode. Cathode, reduction occurs, this electrode. And a salt bridge, it contains electrolytes which are required to complete a circuit in a galvanic cell. And the half cells, reduction and oxidation reactions are separated into compartments. That means separated compartments. And external circuits conducts the flow of electrons between electrodes. And the load is a part of a circuit utilizes the electrons to flow from perform its action. Anode, cathode, and salt bridge, half cells, and load. In a zinc rod is placed in a zinc sulfate solution, and copper rod is dipped into a copper sulfate solution. These are electroplates, and these plates are connected to two separate containers connected to a salt. In zinc, oxidation occurs at zinc and it works as anode, and copper at cathode. The electrons are move one end to another end. So, zinc changes Zn plus 2 and copper changes Cu plus 2. See here, the working of galvanic cell. In a galvanic cell, when an electrode is exposed to the electrolyte at the electrolyte interfaces, the atoms of the metal electrodes have a tendency to generate ions in the electrolyte in solution, leaving behind the electrons at the electrode, thus making the metal electrode negatively charged, while the same time metal ions in the electrolyte solution have a tendency to deposit on a metal electrode, thus making the electrode positively charged. Under the equilibrium conditions, the charge separation is observed, and depending on the tendencies of two opposing reactions, the electrode can be positively or negatively charged. Hence, a potential difference is developed between the electrode and electrolyte. This potential difference is known as electrode. How electrode potential developed? That means under equilibrium conditions, the charge separation is observed, and depending on the tendencies of two opposing reactions, the electrode can be positively and negatively charged. Hence, the potential difference is developed between both the electrode and electrolytes. This potential difference is known as electrode. Out of two electrodes, the electrode on which oxidation takes place is called anode, while the electrode at which reduction takes place is called as cathode. The anode has a negative potential with respect to the solution, while the cathode has a positive potential with respect to the solution. Thus, a potential difference develops between two electrodes of a galvanic cell. This potential difference is known as cell potential. When no current is drawn from galvanic cell, cell potential is known as electromotive force of the galvanic cell. When the switch is set on, due to the potential difference, electrons flows from negative electrode to the positive electrode. Examples of galvanic cell. The electrochemical cell or galvanic cells were introduced as a tool for studying the thermodynamic properties of fused salts more than a century. The Daniell cell is an example of a galvanic cell that converts chemical energy into electrical energy. In Daniell cells, copper ions are reduced at the cathode and zinc ions are oxidized at the anode. The reactions of Daniell cell at cathode and anode are like this. See here the reactions. At cathode, Cu plus 2, that means the addition of electrons is called as gain of electrons is called cathode at cathode, and at the anode the removal of electrons, that means oxidation will be takes place at anode and reduction will be takes place at cathode. These are the examples of galvanic cell. Please subscribe and share and like us.